The Indiana State Police Museum is a collection of historical pieces that have really helped propel the state police to where we are today. The Indiana State Police Museum's management falls under the auspice of the Indiana State Police Public Information Office. The purpose of our museum is very simple: education. We want to educate the general public on the history of the Indiana State Police. The Indiana State Police was formed in 1933. It was created for a couple of different reasons. In the early 1930s, gangs were prevalent. Gangs that were robbing banks, the Brady Gang, John Dillinger, Al Capone. So, a lot of notoriety of those individuals and their groups found their way into, through, and among our Indiana communities. And so if there was a bank robbery, say here in Marion County, and the bank robber fled to Monroe County, to Bloomington, Marion County Sheriff had no authority down there. So there became a need for a law enforcement agency that had that breadth, and that's part of why we became who we are. This is our 90th anniversary. There have been a lot of technological changes in 90 years, as you can imagine. Different types of uniform equipment, vehicles, been utilized by our personnel, both sworn and civilian. We do have examples of a polygraph machine, which is commonly known as a lie detector test. We still use polygraphs today, but the ones that are on display here, they go back a few years. You'll find an old drunkometer. Today, the technology that goes into a certified breath test machine for intoxication is pretty significant. But when those machines came out, that was the technology of the time. Again, just a sampling of the many different things that we utilize with the Indiana State Police. How vehicles have changed and evolved with our agency is much the same as how we came to be. In 1933, when our agency actually became the Indiana State Police, we became that out of a necessity. The automobile was really becoming a primary mode of transportation. There became more of a need of obviously regulation, rules of the road, traffic laws, but also vehicle crashes. So there needed to be an entity that was charged with those responsibilities. To me, I think the two crown jewels are the two privately owned vehicles that we have on display, the 1964 Ford and the 1957 Ford. And they're a hit with, again, young and old alike, because you don't get to see these very often. I think it's important that we preserve and represent the history, because it reminds us of our humble beginnings. I think it's extremely important for people to know where we've come from, the things that we're doing, and really do our very best to explain why. Because I think that communication component is so very important, especially today. We're proud of who we are and where we've come from and where we're going. And we want people to understand realistically what it is that the men and women of law enforcement have to contend with each and every day while they're out there, doing the things that keep the public safe.